One of the most dangerous sentences I've ever said is, "It could never be me." I think we've all said that, maybe not out loud, maybe in our head, when someone loses everything, makes it a wrong decision, a terrible decision. We think, I can never be in that position, it could never be me. How could he even do that? Why did he not do it like this? All of those things. Especially in football, it happens a lot. you know, when someone makes a bad pass, you'll be like, this guy knows how to play ball safe. Why you no pass him like that? Why? Until you enter pitch. I think one of the reasons we judge people so quickly is because we see the end of the journey and not the beginning. We see the divorce and not the 10 years that have passed. We see a young guy struggling, but we don't see the weight he's carrying. We see just one chapter and we convince ourselves that we know the whole book. For me, that lesson became very real in 2024. Bro, I almost gave up. And this is not like the standard way of everybody saying, I almost give up. Nah, this was real. One problem became two became five. Bruh, if I tell you now, it's funny now, but then it was hell. I had to run. I had to run to places that I never thought I could, right? And I was trying my best, right? But then I heard some people saying, how could he be this careless? And that hurt so much. And I was like, wow. So that's what actually people think. Because I knew how much I was trying. I knew the nights that I couldn't sleep. I knew how much I cried. I literally cried like a baby. And that made me realize that from the outside, all people could see was the result. They couldn't care less about the sleepless nights. And that changed something about me. Because to be very honest, before then, I have done similar things, look at someone to make some dumb decision or what I think is a dumb decision. And I'll be like, that could never be me. I can never do that. Come on. Until life reminded me that circumstances can change faster than opinion. Have you ever noticed how confident people are about situations they have never been in? I mean, you hear things like, I can never be in that relationship. I can never borrow money from Lunap. I can never lose everything. I can never do that, do this. Maybe you haven't been tested the way they were. You haven't been that scared. You haven't been that desperate. You haven't been tired. I mean, it's quite easy to know what to do when you're talking about other people's life. Now, I'm not saying every decision one makes is right, or we should excuse bad behavior. However, we should be careful not to reduce someone, a whole being, to just one moment, one mistake, one action. Because at the end of the day, we rarely know the full story. So these days, when I see something and I catch myself saying it could never be me, I stop. Because I've understood that statement doesn't come from wisdom. Rather, it comes from assuming that we know what life has planned for us. Now, even though I'm a Christian and I believe that everything planned for me is good, we still don't know what tomorrow holds, right? So maybe the better response is, I hope I never experience what they are going through. Because empathy doesn't begin when you have lived someone's life. It begins when you admit that you haven't. So before we judge someone, before we make up our minds, before we reduce someone's whole story to one moment, maybe we should give them one more take.